lost in the Lone Star land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the bluebonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright.
Well, hello, my beautiful friends. I apologize for being so far behind with stuff, but I'm here. I'm ready. How are y'all? Thank you all for being here. Hope everybody's had a blessed Sunday. I have been watching the Charlie Kirk memorial today. His wife is currently speaking. If you haven't heard her, it will touch your heart. I tell you, I've been listening to it while I've been getting stuff ready. And God bless their family because, wow, wow. You know, she made a statement in her speech at the very beginning that I heard where she said losing her husband didn't cause violence, did not cause rioting, but instead caused people to start getting their lives in better shape. Nothing more beautiful than that can ever be said. Just wanted to share that little piece with y'all before we got off too far into our stream. Hello, Kiki. When you watch this on replay, I love you, my friend. Keep doing good work. Hey, Bo. Hey, Rhonda. Me and you. Always good to have y'all. Miss Kathy. Let me see here. Hang on, hang on. Tried to get down through all this. It's on dark mode. It's hard to read sometime. Hi, friend Baxter. Let's see, TJ. Hello, hello. Trying to do this without it skipping because it'll jump on me real quick. Teresa, hello. Let's see. Lisa King, hello to you, darling. YouTuber, always good to have you with us. Roxy R, hello, hello. Daisy Duke in the house. So glad to have you with us. Let me see here who else we got. Oh, hello, hello. Hang tight, guys. I'm trying to get through this and read it. It's hard to read sometimes. Hi, I'm too honest. Hi, Michelle. Let's see. Anybody else sneaking in here with us? Kelly Holcomb, always good to have you. Carol loves embroidery. Hello, beautiful. Hope all is well your way. Hang tight, it's wanting to stop. Okay, now here we go again. Tell you, technology, gotta love it. Look at Teresa coming in gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Teresa. That was so kind of you. We appreciate you for doing that. And my goodness, guys, I really hate to say it. I don't even have a song to play for everybody. I can't find my recording. I'm going to have to go back and re-record it for us. But welcome to the South, our new lollipops. So excited to have y'all. We will have a members live next week, or well, this week coming up. So y'all get to join us. Thank you, Teresa, for that. That was so sweet of you. Meemaw, how you doing? Let's see who else we got here. Miss Magoo, hello. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Peggy, hey there. Okay, I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. Hello to everybody in chat. Hello to everybody in the bushes. Hello to everybody on replay. Thank you all so much for being here today. Buckle up. We're going on a little road trip. We got some talking to do. Hey, Selena. Good to have you. So, guys, we've been talking a lot here lately about Sebastian and trying to pull up some very important things. And, it's 90% of it coming from YouTube stuff. And so today, when we get onto talking about Sebastian, we're going to go to TikTok and just listen to how their version of what they're seeing and what they're hearing is almost identical to what we are hearing and seeing as well. But before we do, we're gonna read something here because Houston have a serial killer. Let's look at this, shall we? Let me get it pulled up on my end so I can read it much better. Okay, Houston, Texas. Does Houston have a serial killer on the loose? The question is swirled around various Houston social media circles after 4 bodies were recovered from Houston's bayous just this week. The short answer, according to the University Downtown criminal justice professor Krista Gehring, is no. I don't think. Oh, yeah. Thank you, TJ. TJ sending me a message saying SK, not the serial other word. I don't think the average person should be concerned that they're going to be victimized and wind up in the bayou, she said. Though Dr. Gehring can certainly understand people's concern. The first body found in a Houston area bayou this week was on Monday morning when a man's body was recovered from Green's Bayou. Hours later, a woman's body was found in Bray's body. On Tuesday, guys, this is just all last week. On Tuesday, a third body was recovered from White Oak Bayou. Then a fourth body was found in Buffalo Bayou near downtown on Thursday. I haven't heard any of this. So I would think if there was a serial unaliver, it would be on my radar, Dr. Gehring said. Plus, if the victims are not similar when it comes to demographics, if there's not a signature when it comes to the method, that the person is unalived. The doctor points to several factors that would indicate these bodies are not related to each other. First, they were found in 4 different bayous. The second clue is that we know the deceased involved both men and women. Most serial unalivers focus on one particular sex, and the deaths would have. Oh, I didn't go to the next one. Sorry. The deaths would have clear similarities. However, in these cases, the cause of unalive have not been determined. In addition, Bray's Bayou body has been identified as a University of Houston student, and investigators say her unalive, while tragic, is not suspicious and no foul play is expected. Gehring says the popularity of true crime shows across television has sometimes fueled social media speculation whenever police recover a body. Because a lot of times we'll say, oh, they're dumping the bodies into the bayous to get rid of evidence, because that's what we see in these shows, that the water will wash away the evidence. It could have just been an accident. People could have done it to themselves. People could have been intoxicated. Retired Houston Police Captain Greg Freeman, who turned college professor, agrees. He says in many years patrolling the area, including Buffalo Bayou, he's seen a number of bodies recovered. The most common cause of death are accidental or natural. Unfortunately, some of these might just be natural occurrences where they just died and fell in the bayou. Okay. I'm going to interject in that sentence right there. What? They're just walking along, they die, and roll off into the bayou. Does that make any sense? Oh my gosh. And he goes on to say, or they could have been placed there by other homeless people where they didn't want police to come into their encampment, disturbing their residency. Dr. Freeman says he understands that people are anxious, but says if there is really something to worry about, the Houston PD will make residents aware. I tell the citizens of Houston we have a relatively safe city for the most part, but it's a big city. There is crime. You have to be vigilant. You have situational awareness, but this is not anything to be concerned about, or that we have a rabid serial unaliver on the loose in the downtown area. Nothing has indicated that to me in my professional opinion, Dr. Furman said. Guys, the very next day, another body, the 5th, was found Friday in the bayous. Yep, they don't want to cause mass hysteria, but something's not right. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, bodies have been found floating in the bayous in the Houston city limits. At what time does it cause concern, I wonder? Just wanted to share with you all that little story, because in my opinion, something's not quite right with all of that. I've lived in and around the Houston area for a good most of my life, and you hear of a body being discovered in the bayous every once in a while, but 5 in 1 week, I don't know. Guys, we're going to stay on this story, and if any more happens to show up, we're definitely going to take a look into it. But hey, tap dancer Lizzie, hope everything's good. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Guys, we're going to talk about Sebastian now. We're going to move on, and we are going to listen to some TikTokers and what they have to say. I'm not going to play it all on the screen, but we will be looking into and watching a couple because they show things. Now, this first one, they're questioning the 3-hour time mark. So we're going to listen to that. And all of their channels are listed in the description of this video. I'm going to put up our copyright so that way we are covered there. We're going to play our little tiny bit of music in the background. And definitely check out their channels, if you're on TikTok or participate in TikTok. But I just wanted to show how even over on TikTok, we're all on the same page, basically. So here we go with our first one. This is Jenn, Jenn, on TikTok.
What do you make of a 3-hour conversation held between Mrs. Proudfoot and Mr. Proudfoot the night Sebastian disappears?
A 3-hour phone call bothers me because, again, that's a long time to be on the phone. And, you're hearing your son supposedly, he's answering you supposedly during that time, but you don't go check on him at all. Did somebody leave their phone just on while they went and did something else? I don't know. But I agree with Joe Scott. The electronics are going to tell the story. When his mama first entertained the idea that somebody had him, what did she base that on? His phone's not missing. He didn't take shoes, didn't take clothes, didn't take money. Nothing on his cell phone, nothing on his computer says that he's been talking to anybody. I mean, she's entertaining something that we have no facts for.
Well, I'm concerned about and you're right. Whenever I hear inconsistent statements, as I've discussed many, many times in front of juries, it's one thing to add or embellish your original statement because maybe you weren't asked the right questions first time around. Maybe you remembered something in addition, triggered by questions. But when you change your story, that's a problem. What do you make of a 3?
Okay, so that's the first one. Sorry. It skips really quick. Now, the 3-hour phone call. Even the expert said that can fool anybody. They could have laid the phone down and did other things. They could have just had that for a trace to show and to try to prove he was in Memphis. However, they could have had burner phones that they used, other types of communication. And I'm too honest, 100% I agree. Unless you're 15, nobody talks for 3 hours. But then again, when it's the middle of the night and you can't sleep and your friend's still awake, I know Blue and I have been on the phone, TJ as well. Even Miss Kelly East. I've been on the phone with her for quite a long time. But it's all about alibi with these two, I believe. Now, there was something I learned last night. And TJ, if you would, drop Lady Freedom's link in chat so that if anybody hasn't subscribed to her channel, please follow her. Seth came in last night to her chat and made a comment that very much surprised me. On this TikTok, there was a post here that says, "Hold, please. There's a report of her husband and her were on the phone for 3 hours that night. After a thud in his room, they're on the phone for 3 hours. She didn't go check, remember? And Lady Freedom last night was saying how, why would you not go check with everything this child has wrong with him? Why would you not go check? Seth pipes up in chat and says, Sebastian didn't even have a door to his bedroom. They had taken that door off of his bedroom. Remember Katie saying you don't want to go and just peek in on your son or whatever? Now that makes a little sense to us. She didn't tell us Sebastian didn't have a door. She didn't tell us they had taken the door off. My first thought was, why don't you go tap on the door first and say, hey, give him a little warning, you're coming in if you don't want to go into a teenage boy's room right away. But check on your child when you hear a thud. They had carpet. A thud is not him just falling out of bed. There would be carpet to buffer the sound. Come on already. TJ, you're funny. Okay, so this next one we're going to listen to is by baby Yvie. And let's listen to what she had to say. Oh, hold on. It ain't working. Hold on.
This just hit me like a ton of bricks. Katie said she looked for Sebastian for like 3 minutes. She said she was on the phone with Chris for 3 hours.
Listen
and when
close.
asked, when's the last time you hit him with a belt, Chris said 3 years. Watch this.
Liars often use the number 3 in their statements. If a statement includes a 3, like 3 p.m., third floor, $300,000, 3 minutes, it might be fabricated. When people are lying or making up a story, if they need to pick a number out of thin air, they typically pick the number 3.
I'm just saying that is wild.
Agree with her. Deception Detective says the number 3 is the number that indicates they're fabricating something. 3-hour phone call. 3 hours, 37 minutes to have Mr. Chris drive home. Yes. Yeah. The number 3. Oh, yeah, TJ. Yep. So here we go. Let's listen to the next one is by CognizanceCrime. This is one we're going to look at, actually. Let me pull it up and get it ready for you so we can see it. Because this is big to listen to. Shows it exactly. Brings it out just like what we've been talking about, guys. TikTok so far is on the same track as we are. Okay. Let's see if I can present this and share this. Let's hope it works. I tried it earlier. It didn't want to work. But we're going to try it again. Okay. Telling you, technology is not my friend to the last couple of days. Okay, here we go, guys. Y'all ready? Oh, no, I don't know what that is. Stop it. I don't want all that. How do I get rid of all that? There we go. Sorry. That's what we need. We need our speaker on. And we are going to play. Watch really close, guys. Y'all aren't seeing it? Hold on. Why is it not showing it? It's supposed to show it. Here it is. Ready, guys? Here we go. I'll start it over. TJ being smarty pants. Lolly, I'd watch really close if I could see it. That's funny. Okay, now can y'all see it? I make sure. Let me go back. We're gonna start over. Here we go, TJ. Watch close.
Chris and Katie basically eliminating all exits of the house right in front of our faces. They're eliminating the possibilities of Sebastian coming in and out of these exits during that night. So it's really, really interesting. If you did not see part 1, please go and watch that one first. Very important. I'm going to put these clips will be right next to each other. Okay. Please go and watch that one. I'm going to play the rest of this. Let's go.
So that the back door would not lock?
From the outside, like the front, no. You'd have to have the key.
So I'm not going to describe every door lock in our house.
No, I understand
That's a safety thing.
Yeah, I understand that. Don't do that.
Yeah, but what I can say is there's only 2 doors in the house that he could have gone out where he could have locked
From the
on
outside.
his own from the outside. And the one he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have, and plus it would have been seen on camera. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, it would have been seen on camera. So by
So funny.
suspicion or reasonable elimination of all these doors, it's front door.
Okay. So
I'm just taking my cat out.
Now, before Spirit Seeker breaks that down real quick, I just want to say this. He's saying only the front door, but he just got done saying, if you watched part 1 of this, he just got done saying that he wouldn't have went out there. It would have been caught on camera.
Okay, guys, remember, it would have been caught on camera. Listen to some more. TJ, could you drop Mandy's link for us? Because she does amazing work, and she's the one that broke this down so very good.
He's contradicting himself all in the same interview. All right, let's watch her break this down.
That Chris and Katie have explained as 3 possible exits that Sebastian could have used if he left that house on his own. 3. The front door, the back door, and one of the garage doors. When we look at the side of the house where the garage is, there are 2 overhead doors and 1 access door. Now, none of us know what is kept in their garage except for Katie's vehicle. I do remember Chris making a comment about the garage being full, but I can't remember where he said it. When they speak about these 3 garage doors, it sounds as if they only use one of the overhead doors and the others are blocked to where they can't use them. They said the back door couldn't have been locked without a key, so they ruled that door out. They said the garage door would have made too much noise, and Chris even said, quote, and the one he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes. Everybody would have, plus it would have been seen on camera. Let's put it that way, end quote. This was not the first time Chris spoke as if he was at home that night. In my opinion, I think he started to say everybody would have heard it. But in my opinion, I believe he caught himself mid-sentence. Anyway, that leaves the front door. It's perfect. It's quiet and it locks when you go out of it. The problem is, Chris eliminated that door also. He eliminated the front door when he said if anybody was on that front porch, they would have been caught on the ring camera. So no back door, no garage door, no front door. What about all these windows on that huge house? Let's listen to what Chris and Katie had to say about all these windows. Roll that clip.
So, and there was no windows unlocked or anything like that y'all can tell or could tell. I'm sure they looked at all that.
Yeah, with the screens intact and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing exterior of the building of our house has been altered.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why it was like,
So according to Chris and Katie, the windows were all locked, screens intact, and nothing altered or left that house through a window. Chris did continue on to say this part though. Roll it.
Not only that, but for him to go out the window, so to speak, he would have landed in the flower bed and, you know, barefooted. Yeah, we'd have heard something because he had landed on it and screamed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have heard something because he had landed on it and screamed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have heard something because he had landed on it and screamed.
And yet another example.
We would have heard it. We would have heard something. Chris, guys, how many times in the last few weeks have we been hearing him almost slip up and tell us he was there? This right here, just brought it fully to my attention. That man was there. You cannot convince me otherwise at this point. Let's listen to her finish breaking it down.
Of Chris placing himself at the house the night Sebastian vanished. Anyway, what now? We can only rely on the words spoken by Katie Proudfoot, not only Sebastian's mother, but also the very last person who saw Sebastian alive. We have the words spoken by Christopher Proudfoot, Katie's husband and Sebastian's stepfather. We have the words spoken by Seth Rogers, Sebastian's daddy. We have the words spoken by law enforcement, which has been based off of what Katie has told them, and also very minimal. Then we have our own knowledge from having a passion for true crime. We know past cases that have been similar to Sebastian's. We know how most of those started and how they ended. We know how important it is to listen between the words spoken by the immediate circle of the victim. That is exactly what we have done in this video. As I said in the beginning, I have made multiple videos from this one interview. Christopher and Katie Proudfoot said so much during this 3-hour-long video. It is full of information that we have to listen to and then listen again. And Justin was playing this interview, along with each interview that Chris and Katie have done, when he heard this part also. Now, I had already heard it and I reviewed it myself, but I tried to brush it off as Chris was.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there. But this is crazy, guys. This is crazy. He literally said it, and I'm going to clip just that part, and I'm going to put it up just so everyone can see. He basically just admitted he was there by saying that. We would have heard it. We would have heard it. Oh, guys. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And please.
All right, guys. So there you go. Just another reminder of the words coming from the mother and the stepfather. They say more than they actually really should, but we are thankful. What happened to my background? Lord have mercy. But we are grateful that they do blab, shall we say. But let's listen to the next clip here. This one comes from Renee over on Ticok.
This just hit me like a ton of bricks. Katie said she looked for some.
Hold on. It's wanting to play the same one again. Here we go.
Chris Proudfoot called into a live podcast today to complain about a 78-year-old woman not calling law enforcement after she said she thought she saw the same woman and boy that was in the North Carolina picture. Although the podcaster was questioning whether or not this person was legit, she said it will be handed over to law enforcement. Chris Proudfoot said he's working nights now. He just gotten up to go back to work when he decided to call into this live. The call was pretty long, but here are a few clips from it.
I want to add this to that call then.
Yep.
Because you're talking to Chris, the stepfather of Sebastian Rogers.
Oh.
Now.
Oh, hi.
I thought
So here's the funny thing. The thing that lady was after spewing.
Yeah.
absolutely crap.
Okay.
That's the funny thing.
Right.
Absolutely crap.
Thanks for calling in.
You know,
You know, that's the funny thing. Somebody might have saw his stepson, but yet it's the funny thing because it was crap. This guy. Here we go.
I didn't want to upset her.
Get all these answers and they want to get stuff straight. Well, let's get stuff straight. Let's put this out here for everybody to understand.
Yeah.
See, when you have people like that called into your show and they say they have all this information, and when you ask the question, why didn't you call law enforcement? Her answer was because my son didn't want me to. Is a red flag. That is absolute BS. I am stating.
The woman was scared because so many people at this point had already been followed, threatened, all the things that's come along with Sebastian's case in order to cover up what actually really happened that night. That's why she didn't call in. But this guy, well, he's trying to be polite, but not as polite as he was to the private investigator, thankfully.
The fact.
Yeah,
because,
you're right.
Because the reason why, I'm one of the parents. And let's talk about upsetting people, because you've got people that go on these shows and they say these kinds of things, and they don't use common sense. Because if she had the information, so you mean to tell me that you just went on a show with 44,000 subscribers that you have, and she openly admitted that she wouldn't call the cops but had information? What kind of person with a compassionate heart says something like that? And unfortunately, it truly bogs down the investigation from law enforcement on every aspect.
It does.
So, I mean, and I'm sure Steph would agree with me, and so does Katie on this deal, but we really don't want the rest of the BS out there. We just want true hardcore leads that could actually lead somewhere, not
I understand.
somebody.
He wants hardcore leads that will lead somewhere. How about you and your wife do just that?
Who thinks they saw something and whatnot. We would just really call in and get those leads in if they feel that.
When she asked him if he'd been busy or had been searching today, he explained that he is working nights and he just woke up and is going back to work.
I work nights, so I'm just now getting up, and this is what I got up to here.
Oh, you've been on nights?
Yeah. I'm actually having to go back to work. I actually go back to work.
She then asked him if Crane's...
That was a dig, guys, at Seth. Because at this time, at the beginning, Chris goes on with his life, because life's got to go on, right? But see, Sebastian's real father, who's truly grieving, took time off. Then he hurt his shoulder, had to have medical leave for that, but still searched. That was nothing but a dig at Seth, doing what any father in this world would do for their child.
Operate at night, and here's what he said.
Cranes run 24/7 on certain job sites.
Oh, here, over here they don't.
They may not run like that over in Europe. I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not going to speak for Europe.
Does he really just search for people on YouTube doing live videos and live podcasts just to call up and fight with them? It certainly seems like it. Someone pointed out that the deception detective said that a guilty person will try to stay one step ahead of everyone else by watching everything that's happening on social media. Do you think that's what he's doing? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Boom. Deception detective calling it out. And that's exactly what Mr. Chris likes to do. Stay one step ahead. He's got to know all the things being said so that he's prepared when he gets questioned or needs to call in and clarify things. Yes, friend, lots of wees with him and his story, isn't there? Okay, so let's see here. Next. This is another one where Christopher Proudfoot addresses rumors and answers a few questions. This is another one from Renee that we just heard from.
Chris?
Where?
Oh, hold on. I got to close that out.
Where?
It is day 19 since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers from Hendersonville, Tennessee went missing. There aren't a lot of leads that we know of, and officials have been very vague. This has led to a lot of speculation and theories, especially after Katie and Chris Proudfoot's interview.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know.
But last night, Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepdad, answered a few of the questions we wanted to know. I just want to add this is information from a public group on another social media platform. Chris said, there are only 3 people who will give you factual answers when it comes to this case. Those 3 people are mother, bio, father, and myself. The police are not going to release information in an active investigation. Ask questions, but please be respectful. We will answer what we can the best we can. When asked if he was in Memphis all week until Katie called saying Sebastian was missing, Chris said, I cannot give the details of the dates, but I can say I was away from the house for a while and returned home as soon as I could from Memphis. Chris did confirm that the house has been searched very thoroughly. When asked if Sebastian was supposed to be a witness in his court case, Chris said, absolutely false. My stepson has nothing to do with my custody case in New Mexico.
Okay. We're going to pause there because I think Sebastian had 100% to do with his court case in New Mexico. And why would you ask that? Oh, let me tell you, okay? I believe with all the CPS cases and the statement that was just put out, that on January 29th, 2024, Superior Court asked to review the files, all the files. And then Chris all of a sudden is not in his home during the month of February, from February 4th until the day Sebastian suddenly disappeared. A week later, he's to go to court to fight for custody that he's been fighting for 7 years at that time for his daughter. So yeah, I think it did have something to do with Sebastian. Let's keep listening.
As we know, Sebastian has been without his medicine, and when someone asked how he is when he doesn't have it, Chris said, Sebastian, when he is off his medication, he is a bit rambunctious and will be hungry. Great kid. Someone asked how they were doing, and Chris said, we are on day 18, soon to be 19. We all 3 parents are hurting inside. It is a struggle each day that passes without answers. We keep praying and believe that he will be found and brought home. Thank you for all the thoughts, prayers, and love being pushed our way and throughout the community. If you have seen Sebastian or have any information, please call police or 1-800-TBI-FIND.
All right. All of that was from a Facebook group that he was answering questions. He seems to take the lead on all the question answering, doesn't he? So this next one is going to be, let's see. This is going to be with Matt Thibodeau. Let me see. I think I need to pull this one up for y'all to watch. Yeah, let's pull this one up. Hang tight. Let it load, guys. I know. I love Matt. He's moved over to YouTube, but he's still doing all of his TikToks and things and just doing a great job covering everything. Let's see if this will share. It's still loading. Hang tight. Let's see if it'll load. Here we go. Can you see it? Let me make sure. Waiting for it all to get loaded. Sorry, guys. I don't know what is taking so long today. Here we go.
Hey guys, so a couple of nights ago, Chris Proudfoot went along with the narrative that Sebastian Rogers' silhouette was seen in his window shortly before he disappeared. Take a listen.
Well, I just wonder because, Sebastian was seen in front of his window, right? That night.
His silhouette was seen in the window.
Right. So, was he looking out at somebody or something?
But back in December, he was basically saying that he's not talking about that at all, implying that that information was not true. Listen here.
The neighbor Bobby's interview. And in that, she makes a statement that one of the cameras caught Sebastian looking through the window. She pointed out it would have been his bedroom.
I'm not going to talk on that. And how would Bobby know?
Right.
That's a better question that maybe some people should ask. How does
Hang on, guys.
somebody who thinks that they know as much as they know, I just don't feel that she knows as much as she thinks she knows.
I don't know. Back then, he definitely didn't seem to have been on the side of Bobby, who allegedly said this. Now, the only thing here is that I don't think that the neighbor Bobby actually ever said this. I remember Bobby actually saying on an interview on YT that there was allegedly a silhouette in the living room that was seen in the window from a neighbor's camera, not Sebastian's window. And I guess this happened shortly after Sebastian's bedroom light was seen being shut off. So the fact that Chris Proudfoot's narrative is changing again, it seems like that's just what he's saying to make himself look better in the moment, that Sebastian could have been looking out the window waiting for someone so that he could run away or so that he could be picked up. I don't think that that's true. Do you guys buy that?
There's no specific footage of that. The neighbor that has the ring door camera that saw that, she said to me on the phone that the only thing you can see is a silhouette. She said you cannot see a physical person. There is absolutely no physical proof of Sebastian being at their house that night after dinner. There's nothing. There's her car coming home. My neighbor did tell me that she saw her car come, but she parks in the garage. So nobody saw him get out of the car.
Boom. Nobody saw him get out of the car. And whoever was in the window, it happened to be the window in the dining room area, folks. It wasn't in his room. They saw his light on. That was about it. Next, we're going to listen to Crimes and Canines. I hope y'all are enjoying all this. Let's get this loaded up. Hang tight. Sorry, I have to do it this way, but I got to do it one at a time. Hello to everybody coming in. Thank y'all for being here. Well, the good witch, you don't have to be silent. We love people in chat. Thanks for being here and always listening. We appreciate you. Let's see if this was... Okay, here we go. Let me unmute it here. I'm telling you, I don't know what is going on with StreamYard today, or my computer, or whatever. But it's very not wanting to work.
Today, while scrolling in the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers' Bookface group, I located some information that I have not seen before, and I'm not sure if y'all have either, so check it out. And the comment read, I was told by a close-by neighbor that morning she saw Katie outside with police when she went to take her kids to school. She stopped and asked what happened. Katie told her. She told Sebastian to go to bed around 9 o'clock. She fell asleep on the couch, never mentioning the conversation between her and Chris, woke up around 11:30, went in to check on Sebastian, which she said previously she didn't do anymore now that he's old. He must have been awake because his light or a light was on, according to the neighbor's Ring camera. She said she told Sebastian to go to bed. He had to get up the next morning. She walks across her house to go to her room to go to bed. As she's walking through the kitchen, she hears a loud noise. She yells back at Sebastian, asking him what that was. He says, nothing, Mom. Go to bed. So she does. Now, we all know that's not what she's been claiming nowadays. According to the neighbor close to them, their Ring camera shows the lights going on and off because it's so dark. This neighbor also mentioned seeing a silhouette in the front room, possibly dining room window, for a couple minutes, then all the lights go off. Neither Chris nor Katie have ever mentioned any of that. Now, we do know from Katie's story, she says that she was on the couch doing her reading assignments for her schoolwork and talking to Chris Proudfoot. She never said she was in the kitchen. And no lights were ever spoke about either in the window. So, I don't know, y'all. Here's another piece to the puzzle of locating missing Sebastian Rogers. Where is Sebastian?
Where is Sebastian? Wondering minds want to know. Okay, this is another phone interview with Sebastian's parents, and this one is from Chaps. Let's hear what they got to say.
What kind of nonsense did you send my daughter, Tiny?
Hang on. I hate when it don't want to work right. Here we go.
So he's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound.
To see if he has been checked.
Evidence of a secret phone.
Okay, good.
Now, this is the second interview that they did with Duchess, and I've tried to find it, can't find it nowhere. I don't know if she has it on members only or something. I don't know if she took it down. But he's a kid who don't like to get his feet dirty. Make it make sense, folks.
Because digital evidence is really important. They want to make sure that he's not speaking to anybody. This is such an unusual case.
This case is extremely unusual. Like I said before, we are pretty strict when it comes to certain things. As far as comms, communication, electronic devices, there was only one phone that he had. It was extremely locked down. He had access to his phone, his text message, to only his contacts list, a camera, and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
He seems like.
So,
now, is that not something? He's usually a pretty good kid. Okay. Let me see if I can get this one to pull up. I think another Matt here. Let's try to get to him, Matt Thibodeau. Like I said, there's some that we need to see for ourselves. Others, it's just them talking. So, hello to everybody coming in. Thank y'all for being here. We are on a road trip, a TikTok road trip today. Let it load. Hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, thanks for dropping his. If you haven't, definitely sub up to this guy. This guy's hot on the trail. His eyes. Love to travel. We're traveling today. All right, let's listen to Matt as he gets going here. Let it load.
Hey guys, so Mob Crew was live again on YT last night, and he shared a lot. I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. So Mob Crew said that unlike what Steve Fisher shared at the beginning of the year, where he was talking about footage and stuff like that, how things were overwritten so law enforcement didn't get some footage from neighbors, he says that that's not true, and that there was footage that was obtained early on from law enforcement from a ton of neighbors. Are we shocked that Steve Fisher lied? Because I'm definitely not. He also touched on some of the inconsistencies and the things that Steve Fisher has shared over the last year. Things like him saying, yeah, there's a very clear shot of the Proudfoots' home from February 25th into February 26th. But then when he's called out on, okay, if there's a clear shot of the home and no one is seen going into the home or leaving, that would mean Sebastian didn't wander away or just get up in the middle of the night and leave. And then Steve Fisher backtracks it, is like, yeah, but it's just really dark. Like, you wouldn't be able to see anyway. Which one is it? Steve also tried to say at the beginning of the year in one of his interviews that the cameras pointing at the Proudfoots' home were on auto mode, not night mode. So it would have made capturing things harder, more difficult. But Mob Crew proved that the cameras pointing at the Proudfoots' home were on night mode, and that auto mode on these specific cameras and on many cameras consists of night mode automatically being activated when it gets dark. But anyway, Mob Crew was discussing the footage again. We can see the trash truck around 5:12 in the morning right here, and we can see on the Proudfoots' home there are floodlights and there are garage lights. Like, there's lights on the house. If Sebastian would have walked out of the house and walked to the left, it would have triggered the camera. He would have been visible, especially with the white Adidas stripe on his pants that he was allegedly wearing. If he went to the other side, it would have been the same exact thing. There's lights right there. You would have seen him. You would have at least seen his pants. And Mob Crew breaks that down a little bit deeper in his video about how cameras capture things and how light is detected on night mode and stuff like that. So go watch that if you want to hear about that. But essentially, Sebastian, if he walked out of the home, would have been caught on camera, and we don't have any footage of Sebastian ever walking out of that home. So we did get confirmation from the neighbor across the street that Sebastian's light was seen going out at 9:08 p.m. on February 25th, 2024. Now, Katie, in one of her interviews, said that she sent Sebastian to bed around 9. She said about an hour later, she heard him doing something in the room, heard a thud, and she said, I don't care what you're doing in there, just go to bed. So that would have been put at around 10 o'clock, right? The only thing here is that Sebastian's light never turned back on. So what could he have been doing in his room around 10 o'clock if the light didn't turn back on and if we know he wasn't on his electronics? I also don't really think it's a coincidence that as this stuff is taking place, Katie Proudfoot just happens to be on the phone with Chris. And based on how protective Chris seems to be over Katie and how he inserts himself, interjects, speaks for her, clarifies things for her, it could be that he was coaching her through what to do on the phone at this time. So essentially, Sebastian never got up in the middle of the night. He never walked out of the house. He never got up in the middle of the night, jumped out the window to leave. He never was abducted from his home. There was no signs of forced entry. There was nobody that was seen going up to the house and taking him out. There was nothing. Now, Mob Crew also goes in detail about the audio that he was able to enhance from camera footage around the neighborhood. He basically talked about how it could seem like there's no audio with specific camera footage, but if you enhance it, you can hear things. You can hear cars driving by. You can hear people walking on the pavement. And at the moment, it doesn't seem like we have any audio that could be pertaining to Sebastian disappearance. So yeah, of course, as new information comes out, I will be sure to break it down and share with you guys. What are you guys thinking in the comments? Do you think that Sebastian ever made it home from the Texas Roadhouse on February 25th? For me, the more we get confirmation that there's no footage at all of anyone leaving the Proudfoots' home between February 25th, that night after the Texas Roadhouse, and February 26th, when Katie gets in her car in the attached garage and goes to look for Sebastian, and combined with the fact that Seth even said himself the other day that he's questioning whether or not Sebastian ever made it home from the Texas Roadhouse on February 25th, I'm starting to feel like Sebastian never did. And if he did make it home, he was taken out by that attached garage.
Boom, he's saying all the things we've been saying. Guys, I'm going to play this next one. We only got just a couple more. And we're going to listen to this one. And yes, his eyes said, how could KP say she heard a thud at 10 p.m. when another story, she said she fell asleep around 10. Exactly. It's just, it's crazy, guys. Makes no sense whatsoever.
He's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that.
Hang on.
If there's
Here we go.
To discipline him with, since he, how did you discipline
Sebastian in general?
Yeah.
Well, that depends. The punishment has to fit the crime.
Oh, punishment has to fit the crime. At what point is there a crime when corporal punishment is used? Although the mother signed a document for her custody part stating she would not use corporal punishment. I wonder what crime that would have to be for that to happen. Just wondering. Let's listen.
So to speak.
Oh.
Are you cleaning in your room? And people are going to make me sound like I'm so horrible. But I promise you, folks, you try this with your kids one time, and you won't ever have a problem with this again. So if you tell them to clean their room, and they go in there and they clean their room, well, they say, come out, well, it's clean. And you go in there and you go to check their room, and the room's not clean. Okay. I told you to clean this room. You told us the room was clean, did you not? Well, yes, sir. Okay. Now I'm going to clean your room. And you know exactly what that means. I go in and I go grab a trash bag. I walk back in that bedroom. If it's on the floor and it's not supposed to be on the floor, it's not picked up and put in the right places, it goes in the trash bag. If it's not important enough for you to take care of and pick up, I'll take care of it for you. Throw in the trash bag. Tie it up. I've done this to him twice. One time, Mom talked me out of it. The other time, Sebastian, here's the bag, go put it in the trash can. And then you're going to take the trash can to the street. And after that, Sebastian, did you clean your room? Well, did your mom told you to clean your room? Did you clean the room? Yes or no? Well, yes, sir. Is it clean the way it's supposed to be? Well, no, sir. Then I suggest you go back in there and clean it, or I'm coming in there in the next 10 minutes and I'm cleaning.
Poor Sebastian. Could you imagine the life this kid had to live? Could you imagine? It's absolutely insane that Sebastian's mother would allow all of this to take place, although they just seem like it's just another day. Tell you what, no man would ever talk to my child like that. Not even their father. Wouldn't happen.
Yes, sir. Calls butt to that bedroom, and by God, that room is clean the way it's supposed to be. Now, it sounds crazy, but I promise you, you try with your kids, man, your kids will be like, oh my God, they ain't kidding. Works amazing.
Okay, so now that you guys have listened to the clip, let's analyze it. And if you guys enjoy language analysis, follow, because I really like doing them and I hope to post a lot more here in the near future.
This is CHIME Crime. So if you are on TikTok, definitely check out her channel.
So the interviewer in this clip asked Chris, how do you discipline him? And Chris at first seemed somewhat shocked that we are still talking about Sebastian by saying, who? Sebastian in general? Yeah, Chris, isn't Sebastian the reason that we're here?
Duh. Like, we're not going to talk about his daughter. His daughter is off limits. It has not anything to do with Sebastian going missing. That little girl didn't take him. I mean, this is the rhetoric that he plays.
And Chris goes to say, punishment has to fit the crime. He is going to give us an example of one. So
I wonder what kind of punishment will fit the crime to those who did something to Sebastian and falsely led everyone along for the past 3 days shy of 19 months. I wonder what that punishment would be.
This leads me to believe there are multiple crimes and punishments going on, but he's gonna give us an example of just one. So, example of cleaning his room. This is the one example that comes to Chris's mind first, hence why he is using this one. Chris says, people are going to make me sound like I'm so horrible. No, Chris, I'm pretty sure you're doing a good job of that on your own. So he goes on to say, I promise you folks, you try this at home. So here's Chris trying to give parenting advice if you're interested.
Not. You know, I'll be honest, when my kids were young and I'm trying to teach them how to pick up and keep their stuff picked up and all the things that, you know, every parent has to go through. There were times where I would put some of their stuff in a trash bag, but I would hide it. And when they started keeping their room clean, I brought it back out to them. I didn't throw away things that meant something to my kids. I used it as a lesson. Crazy. Throw it in the garbage? Let the trash man take it off? My goodness, donate it if you're going to do that. This is CHIME Crime on TikTok.
He goes on to say, only need to try this once. May sound horrible, but don't worry. You will only have to do it once. So he's like really trying to draw us in. Let's hear him out. So next, Chris tries to build a visual in our minds. Chris says, if you tell them to clean their room and they come out saying it's clean, and he changes his voice like, it's clean. Like he's being dramatic, hence he's the teen or child that came out and said that their room's clean and kind of in a dramatic way, like they're, looking to start trouble. So he says, and you go check the room and you see it's not clean. Now, the child is...
Okay, important word here, the child. They're children. They're children. Children that are learning lessons in life. But Mr. Chris expects things to be a certain way.
Lying, it's not clean, so they're, dishonest at this point. Now, at this point on the clip, Chris puts himself there. He is now in the situation with Sebastian. He is now conversing with Sebastian. Thought I told you to clean this room. And he kind of gives an example of Sebastian and the helplessness response. Explains it. Chris explains almost like he enjoyed it. And he may have, Then Chris said, you told us your room was clean. So keyword here is definitely us, because now we know there is another person involved. He just told us there is 2 people that are punishing or involved in the punishment. Does he mean Katie? I think he's maybe trying to make her a part of it. I don't know if she really, was, because I think he's really speaking of a true event. Chris said, you told us the room was clean. Did you not? And he says Sebastian's response was, well, yes, sir. The yes, sir, or no, sir seems to be unparent-like, but this is how Chris wants to be spoken to. It's a respect thing for him. He tells us now that he goes and gets the trash bag, and I'll walk back into that room. So he's telling us he walked back into Sebastian's room. There he suggests he has done this before, of course. But remember in the beginning, he says, you will only have to do this once. He's describing a habit meaning more than once. It goes into the trash bag, he says. I'll take care of it for you. Throw it in the trash bag. Tie it up, instructing Sebastian what to do. Chris is controlling the situation, having Sebastian throw his belongings away, trying to make him upset, hurting his feelings. Chris says, I've done this to him twice. So he gives it away that this is not just a one-time punishment. One time, Mom talked me out of it. What? Mom talked you out of it? He doesn't say my wife or Katie here. He refers to her as Mom. This suggests that at this time, Katie was sticking up and protecting Sebastian. She was caring enough to interfere, like, don't do it. Sebastian, he says, here is a bag. Go and put it in the trash can. And then you're going to take the trash can to the street, which is, so Sebastian, here is the bag. Go put it in the trash can. And then you're going to take the trash can to the street. It's very interesting that Chris says this, take the trash can to the street, because remember, when Mom Katie was going over the events of the evening prior to Sebastian's disappearance, she said he took the trash can to the street. It was one of his chores. She even gave us a because it was his chore. Was it a chore? Or was that used as a cover-up? Or was Sebastian taking the trash can to the street as a final stage of punishment for not cleaning his room to Chris's standards? For example of punishment was what first came to mind when Chris was asked, how do you discipline him? Was it because this is what took place that Sunday evening and things escalated from there? Hopefully soon someone will start speaking up for Sebastian's sake.
Yes. People need to start speaking up. I'm telling you, things are out of control. Okay, we got just a couple more to watch. This one is a dispatch call released. And we're going to play this. and they add pictures in for good measure. So here
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male was not in the bed. We had a white male, 30 pound hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
Just one around.
47. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Break. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
Good.
Central to 47 184 and 12. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in a Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. Check long haul out, just same way.
You can take me off the assist fire. I'll be en route to the missing juvenile.
Next big track back up.
Okay, now this here, guys, is the new subdivision that has since been built. It is full of houses now. But this is what it looked like during the time Sebastian went missing. And this leads to the retention pond, which has since been drained, checked thoroughly. It's been drained completely and filled in.
Going into the construction site over here back towards the beach. That's important behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Hey, this is all dry, hard patch. I do have some footprints over here.
Now, if you heard, it was a hard patch, but he had footprints in the hard patch of dirt. So that tells us those were old footprints. Because he said it's in the hard patch.
Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints. Shoes that Max went straight into the pond.
Did you hear that, folks? Shoes that led straight into the pond. The same track the dog took when it was over towards the retention pond. You can see the pond straight ahead there. All of Sebastian's shoes were at home. Wonder who put them on, who walked over by that retention pond so that maybe the dog would pick that up. Makes you wonder.
Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water. Yeah, but you see any footprints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt, headed straight this way on the track that he was running. Truck 47, what kind of shoes does he wear?
Now remember, at this time, they had no idea what was going on, but they were told he ran away. And those shoes went directly straight as if he went into that pond. The dog followed that footstep straight into that water. I wonder if one of those pairs of shoes that's left right inside that front door there were wore and placed as if he ran into the pond.
So 10, 12 to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
All right, that is Steph's case file. We got one more that we are going to watch here. Let me get it pulled up, and while it's loading, we'll share the screen. If my computer will work right. Let's see here. Share screen. And here we go. And this one is by Criminal Gossiper. Let me get it down so we can get our volume fixed. There's not much to watch, but this one is very interesting. Here we go. Let it finish loading. It's still loading. Sorry, guys.
And Mr. Proudfoot, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was.
Have you visited home since you left? Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the day he went missing. Oh, he didn't mention that he had been back in town several times throughout February. For him to be there at the poker game Friday following Sebastian's disappearance, for him to be at her meeting. Yeah. Very vague. Very vague. Remember, it was the 29th of January when the Superior Court requested all the files. Because it was the day before that a CPS case had been opened. And just a couple of days later, Mr. Chris leaves and doesn't come back to the home. Keep that in mind.
Well, he was missing.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates. Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates.
I call bull. Anybody else in the chat call bull? I call bull crap. No law enforcement is going to tell you what to say and what not to say. They want you to say all the things. Or at least a law enforcement agency that's actually wanting to find the truth. They would be the ones that would want you to say all the things.
But I had been home multiple times prior to February. And then I left early February and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
So you were not home from the time you left early February till Feb 26th. Is that right?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay, there you go. His own words. He was not home at all. So when he makes the statement that he made that Sebastian was going and telling and doing all the CPS cases and, he's being reported so much and all those things, do you think he actually was trying to put it back on Sebastian as if, when he said, Sebastian thought he was going to actually get me kicked out of my own home? Because that's exactly what I think that statement was for. To take a dig at Sebastian, just like he does with Seth, because I honestly believe everything we've heard, everything that we know, he was told not to be at that house. Hey, SI, come on in. That's what I believe, guys. I honestly believe it with my whole entire heart. After hearing that the Superior Court requested on the 29th of February, or the 29th of January, just 6 days before he left for the whole month, I believe he was told he needed to stay out of the house until things were resolved. And that meant something had to happen quickly in order for him to get to come back to his very own home. It had to happen. Something had to happen. Okay. All right. Thank you. I will check that out for sure. Does it make sense to you? Does it make any sense? Because, guys, he pretty much told us with his very, very, very own eyes. Sebastian thought he was going to get Chris to leave his own house, for them to make Chris go away. The root of all of Sebastian's troubles seemed to lay at the hands of Chris Proudfoot. And guys, this man is out here mocking Sebastian's father, mocking Sebastian, when he is the one who was ordered multiple times to take parent classes and anger management classes multiple times during his court custody. The 7 long years that he had been trying to get custody of his daughter, since her mother got to get her and take her away from that family. Thank goodness. He's fought her all this time. And Sebastian's case and all the files that the Superior Court was looking into could have played a huge role in ending that mother's fight to keep her daughter. Sebastian was in his way. Everything is leading that direction. I wished it wasn't. Because I honestly believe if it wasn't, time would have played out and Sebastian would be living with his father right now, and we would never know Seth or Sebastian Rogers. We would not know Katie or Chris Proudfoot. And we really wouldn't know nothing about the Bowersocks and the way they operate. We would be talking about other kids. That's what we would be talking about. But here we are, almost 19 days later, still talking about what could have happened to Sebastian. This child that we were told in the very, very beginning ran away from his home. How do you run away when all the cameras are around these days and not be seen? Barefooted. Barefooted. Remember, barefooted. He didn't like bugs. He didn't like to walk around without his shoes. He even went swimming in a very crystal clear water in the swimming pool with water shoes on. And yet we're supposed to believe he ran away. Conveniently, that is the one night their front porch light was turned off. It's always on before, always on after. It's what everybody in the neighborhood's saying. But that front porch light that night was turned off, as if that's going to make a difference, and the Ring cameras aren't going to actually be able to see anything. But guess what? They did. And there was no movement. Nothing coming or going from their home from the front. Nothing. All of that backfired on them. So now what are they supposed to do? What story are they supposed to concoct? You know, he just ran away. He poof, disappeared. He always wanted to be a ninja. That's what they say, right? Mr. Chris told us that, his words. He always wanted to be a ninja. And I guess he accomplished that. Children do not disappear from this world. There are monsters in this world that disappeared children. I would 100% believe that. I really would. Texas Roadhouse. There's a lot of people that want to believe that was just nothing. It's just a family having dinner. No. There were people in place all around. What was their purpose being there that night? There's people that came in, made their presence known, and walked out and never took any food with them. Why all the eye contact being made at Texas Roadhouse? Folks, this was planned. I'm telling you, I feel it. Everything is leading towards this. Was well thought out. This was planned, and nobody is going to have a group of people in place just to take one child. You never hear about that. One person can take one child. But this day and time that we live in, cameras are everywhere. Where is Sebastian Rogers? It remains the number one question. And there is nothing else that matters. I don't want to come on here and talk bad about his mother and his stepfather. They do it themselves. We're calling it out. The truth never changes, but the mother and the stepfather story has changed multiple times. Multiple times. Law enforcement doing absolutely nothing about it. How deep does this all go? How corrupt is that town? Must be pretty deep, pretty wide, because they won't even allow us to pass out his flyer at Pigfest. A big 3-day festival that's going to bring in thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And we're not allowed to pass out his flyer. That's how deep it goes, folks. That's how deep some pockets are in that town. And they're being paid. They're being bought off. Money's being passed around like crazy, whether it is actual dollar bills, checks, credit cards, or homes. It's happening. We see it on our YouTube streets. If it's happening on social media, you know it's happening in that town. And Sebastian, a now 16-year-old boy, he was 15 when he went missing. He could not defend himself against all of that. Yeah, Diana, lots of cameras weren't working, but thankfully, there were quite a bit that were. I agree. I think I'm too honest. The poker game Friday night finalized their strategy. I honestly believe that. Jesse, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Guys, listen, make sure to hit that thumbs up for us if you will. I encourage, if you can, become a member. We got to get our memberships better than what we got it now. We need to do better and help grow our channel and be heard even in a louder arena, you know, here on the social media platforms. We got things we're saying, things we're talking about, things that more people need to hear about. Exactly. Enough of the games. Be bold. Just be bold. Say what you did. Tell us where he is. Like I've said 100 times before, if one person could just make that anonymous call the FBI, get outside of the county, get away from the county, call the FBI headquarters and just tell them where Sebastian can be found. That's the number one goal. And I encourage those who know to grow some balls and do what's right. Sebastian deserves it. He deserves so much more than us just being here on YouTube talking about him and keeping his name out there and showing, you know, all that we can. He deserves so much more, guys. So much more. Look at this picture. Look at that smile. He didn't deserve what's happened to him. And I do not believe this young man just left and disappeared on his own. I don't believe it. For everyone that's listening, please remember myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat, express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculation, possibilities, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinion they have. We're here for helpful purposes only. We're not here for drama, hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. And for anyone who needs to hear it, my content is not to be used in a negative way at any time. Should anyone want to use my content, they are welcome to it, as long as it's done for the good. We just want to show all the things, but we have a right to our opinion, and we have a right to speak it. We really do. Guys, I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for your love for Sebastian, your support you have for his father. Something happened to that young man. I'm afraid it's something he never, ever in this lifetime should ever deserve. Always keep him in your prayers, wherever he may be. And guys, remember, we're here to try to help. We're not here for any of the hate or the drama. We're calling it as we see it. We're calling it as we hear it. The words from his parents, his mother and his stepfather, their very own words tell you something is wrong. Something's not right here. Their story changes. The truth never changes. It never changes. And remember, when you have a set of parents that don't go and look and don't make it known that they're looking or be present out everywhere they can possibly be to help find their son. People don't look for what they know where it is. They don't look for things or people when they know where they put them. Guys, I hope you join me again tomorrow. But until then, y'all enjoy your Sunday evening. And love and hugs to you all. Bye.